Welcome back, everybody, to the NBA 2K25 MyNBA expansion series with the Mexico City Aztecs. Year 5 is over, but the playoffs have yet to begin, and we're going to kickstart the playoffs here in this episode. We enter as the 3 seed in the Western Conference, only behind the Rockets and the Jazz. The Rockets, of course, finishing with a 12-game lead over the rest of the Western Conference. So they are the team to beat this season in this playoff run. We, of course, lost to Portland a year ago in the Western Conference Finals, who are now the 4 seed this season. And we are coming off 2 straight losses to close the regular season, but we have still played a really good basketball down the stretch. And a lot of our players are hot from the field. They're playing the best they have all season long. One of those players being John Cobb, who I did switch to small forward as his main position, and he went up by 1 overall. So it went from a 89 to a 90, and we'll kind of interchangeably mess with that as we move him around from shooting guard to small forward. But as of right now, small forward is his best role, especially with this specific roster. But we have also seen that Jarace Walker has completely rebounded from the poor, first 3 quarters of the year and has put up his numbers to about what they were a year ago. So he's no longer on the chopping block for an offseason trade or on the chopping block to not be in the starting 5. Now he's not going to be in the starting 5 to open the playoff run. And I have trimmed our rotation down to only 8 players, as I have for the Spurs, who are our first round opponent. But in our game plan, you'll see that we still have the same starting 5 that we closed the regular season with, led by Dennis, Christie, Cobb, Moore, and Williams. But you will notice that Christie gets 10 more minutes of playing time because it's the postseason. And we're going to play Colin Moore a lot more pretty much at the 5. He will kind of slot in with those additional minutes that we took away from James Wiseman, who is not going to be part of our initial rotation. But again, I am open to adjusting things as we see fit. But Mark Williams and Moore can both play that James Wiseman role. Now, was he really good for us? Yes, but it's not that hard of a role to play if you're a big man. So they can definitely take the reins from him. And we're going to keep Cobb at 36 for now. I don't want to, just put him in the dirt for like 42 minutes a game just yet. And we're going to give Jarace Walker and Dylan Young about 24, 25 minutes off the bench and still have Marcus Sasser in there as well for some really good 3-point shooting and some good assist numbers. But we will, of course, adjust this as we move through the playoffs and as things progress. And we'll just see where this initial rotation takes us. And yes, I did give Cam Christie shoes. He's got the Kobe ADs, both home and away. But with all that being said, we face the Spurs in the opening round of the playoffs as the 6th seed. The Spurs come in with 1 less loss this year than a year ago at 48-34. And they still have Wembanyama, one of the greatest players now of this generation, perhaps the greatest player of this generation. They've got Stephon Castle now at his peak pretty much, and so is Jalen Duren. Malachi Branham comes off their bench at 88 overall, which is just insane. They got Keldon Johnson, Dan George, a really just good overall team. Again, their lineup has been trimmed down to only 8 players in total. But with guys like Yves Missi and Devin Vassell coming off their bench alongside Branham, this is still a really, really good unit, regardless of whether or not they had less wins than a year ago. But here we go. The Year 5 playoff run is going to begin at home this year because we are the highest seed in this matchup at number 3. The Spurs come in number 6. Both teams coming off a loss to close the regular season, but now it's a battle of who can move on to the conference semis. Spurs, Aztecs, Game 1. Let's dive in. Mexico City is alive and well as tip-off is underway in the 2029 playoffs. Here we go. Game 1 of round 1 starts now. Spurs have it first. This is Keldon Johnson. No good, but it's put back in by Victor Wembanyama. He averaged 26 points per game this past year. Did not win the MVP, but won Defensive Player of the Year for like the 3rd or 4th straight time in this series. And now it's us pretty much against 10, but he's got some good role players around him, no doubt. But if we're going to win, it's going to have to be on defense and stopping him when he has the ball in his hands. And I think having Kylan Moore at power forward will help us in that matchup versus having Jarris Walker out there instead, who is way, way too small to be guarding him. So kind of a Twin Towers lineup for us, as we have kind of rocked with for most of our season since the halfway points. And it's 2-1, Aztecs trail. Shot clock under 5 for the Spurs. Here's Castle pulling up. That shot's not going to go. So we took Corey Kispert and Wiseman both out of this playoff rotation. That just leaves 3 players coming off our bench as John Cobb knocks down his first shot attempt, and it comes from downtown. So of course we chose not to increase his minutes as of right now, but I do suspect that as the games get more important, I will look to probably take a few minutes away from Dylan Young and give more to Cobb as our best player. Wembanyama responds on the other end with his first points. And now it's passed up ahead. John Cobb shielding off Keldon Johnson. That's a great pass by David Dennis. And we are trading leads early on here. Jalen Durant's calling for it down low. Wants to go to work against Mark Williams, but eventually passes out. Shot clock again approaching 0. The jump shot won't go for Dan George, and Mark Williams pulls down the miss. Looks like he wants to ISO here against Keldon Johnson. Good defense so far. Cobb back to Dennis. He has to force it, and it's not going to go. We have seen the offense play very well to close the year. Not as well as we began the season, but that whole middle pack, the whole middle part of the season was very back and forth in terms of how well we played. But we closed the year very strong in terms of the offense, and just hoping to try and continue that with the lineup adjustments here in the first game of the playoffs. Another good look for Cobb, and he drills another one. He's 2 for 2. After a Spurs timeout, they go right to Wembanyama for the pull-up 3, and he, of course, knocks it down. Now he's 2 for 2. This could end up being a kind of star-for-star matchup with Cobb and Wemby going back and forth and seeing who can outclass the other offensively. Kylan Moore just barely cannot get the fadeaway to go, just in and out. That'll go 9 times out of 10, and now a foul is called against Cam Christie. And this might be 3 shots. He's not sure if Castle had his foot on the line or not, but he hits the first, and it is going to be 3 shots. The first 2 of which are good. And Castle, 3 for 3. Shot clock counting down. Dennis can't get the lob to go. That was a ballsy pass by Kylan Moore, but Dennis cannot corral it enough to flush it down. Wemby's 3, no good this time. It's his first miss from behind the arc. High ball screen set. Cobb floats it right to Williams. He's blocked from behind, and Castle tracks down the loose change. Wemby flies up ahead, got the bucket and the foul. And that goes against Kylan Moore, his first. Second against the Aztecs. And their 4th free throw is up and good. Once again trying to shake Keldon Johnson loose. Finds some room. And his 3rd 3-point attempt is not going to drop in. His first miss. Johnson pulls up, misses that shot. Christie pulls it down. But the Spurs get back on defense. Cutting inside, Dennis readjusting for the tough finish around Keldon Johnson. Both teams have now hit 4 field goals, but their free throws have set them apart so far with that foul on Christie a couple plays ago. Duran driving, back out to Castle. Christie sticks with them. The pull-up is going to find its way to the bottom of the net. Castle only shot 42% in the regular season, but still in a starting role. He's still been solid outside of that. Dennis out to Cobb. A clean look. It's not going to drop. They lob it up to Duren. His dunk's not going to go. He tried to poster Mark Williams. Now lobbing it up for Dennis again. That was Chrissy that time, and it went right through Dennis's hands. But the Spurs cannot take advantage. Layup won't go for Jalen Duren. We've got Walker and Young now at the table to come back in next to Ball. Can the offense regain their offensive rhythm here? Kylan Moore, space in the mid-range jump shot, but he front rims it. George gets downhill, right over Dennis, but a little bit too much off the window. Got a key matchup right here, Moore against Wembanyama. Moore steps back, then drives, and finishes. What a take against not a much taller, but still a taller defender in Wemby, who's like 7'4". Moore's only 7 foot. Or maybe he's like 6'11". But regardless, Wemby is taller. It's a tough matchup for him. Duren got Williams up in the air, but passes out. Now Castle with it. Keeps it. Fires a tough one, and he's still got it to go. Sasser, Young, Jarris Walker all in there. Walker has a sore foot or something, but he's going to be okay. The layup, though, won't go for Sasser. That was his first shot attempt here in this one. Driving, Keldon Johnson has the ball snatched out of the air by Mark Williams. That'll be a block plus a board. Quick three, drops in for Dylan Young, who has really played some great basketball down the stretch. I think he's been really good. That's why I'm not going to force Cobb to play 40 minutes just yet. I just want to see what Dylan Young can get us here in the first couple of games, because I think he's proving himself worthy of more playing time, at least going into next season. Now a chance to tie it up. Sasser, and one. The foul goes against Stephon Castle, and the free throw can put us back in front and end this Spurs run. The free throw will go as Josh Green and Yavis Misi come off of the Spurs bench and into this game. And so does Vassell and Malachi Branham, who I thought I took one of these guys out of their rotation, but apparently not. Vassell, though, hits his first shot, and the Spurs regain the lead very quickly. Young lost it. Moore tracks it down. Stutter steps and then throws up a delayed shot, but it's not going to go. Mismatch down low for Sasser. Duren hanging on a bit too long, and it's going to get called for a 3-second violation. Back on the court is Cobb. He's got the ball. Locked up by Vassell. Now Jarris Walker finds him again. The three just rattles out. Dumped inside again. Duren getting physical. Throws it up and in over Walker. The screen set by Cobb. Gets Sasser going downhill. He hands off to Walker, whose three won't drop. And so far, the offense has been, relatively slow, all things considered. Less than 20 points here with a minute left to play or so until the quarter's over. Gotta get a stop at a bucket here, but we're not gonna get the stop. Jalen Duren with back-to-back buckets. Open look for Dylan Young. He's 2 for 2 from behind the arc. Driving. And foul. Jalen Duren picking us apart right now. First free throw for him is gonna drop. I feel like he's like a 50-some% free throw shooter, so don't expect both to go. Or maybe do. Cobb shuffles it inside to Cowan Moore for the quick buckets. We'll have a chance to get at least one more shot at before quarter's end. That pass was nearly batted away, and Duren is still going crazy. He's got 8 straight points. That was a really tough bucket. Heavily contested. And now last play of the first here. It's going to be for us. Can we find a good look, or is it just going to be a jack up from Cobb? He missed it. 29-24. Spurs in front early on. Second quarter underway here in Mexico City. Spurs in front early on. Looking for the offense for the Aztecs to really get going here and start a run of some sort and make things a little bit more interesting. That shot's not going to go, but Moore able to pull it down, and Wemby almost stole it. It's going to be our ball. Gotta find something here. Downhill, drawing a foul. It'll put Cowan Moore at the line for 2. That's the first on Misi. Ward just 2 for 5 so far from the fields. Now 2 for 3 at the line today. And he knocks down both. Little pick and roll here, setting up for Wembanyama. Just got behind Mark Williams, who was looking for the pass, but just couldn't find it. Mark Williams sets the screen. Christie back to him. Blocked again on the dunk attempts. Both he and Duren now have blocked him on those kinds of plays. Shot clock violation. Branham steps all the way back and knocks it down from the top of the key. The Spurs have been red hot from downtown so far. He's got a 3. Wemby's got 2. Vassell's 1 for 1. Now Branham. Here's Kylan Moore with a little lefty hook, and he got it to go, but we got to start playing some defense here. Misi hands it off, and Wemby is wide open. Luckily, cannot make us pay. He's got 13 points, though, 5 for 7 from the field to open things up. We have not done a good job containing him. But we do lob it backdoor, and Mark Williams skies for the putback. All 3 lobs to Dennis have failed, 2 of which he nearly put through the rim. But Mark Williams now called for a reach-in foul, but what a play by him to rise up and flush that one in. Branham off the screen, pulls the trigger, no good. Mark Williams able to pull it down. Pick and roll with Young and Williams, guarded perfectly by the Spurs. Dennis has to create something, but has his shot blocked by Wembanyama. That's his second of the first half already. And they will not turn this into points as we do get the stop on the other end. Gonna try this again now with Walker. Young keeps it, finds Williams, who's not a jump shooter. Now we gotta find another good look. Christie with the mid-range dump shot, so we have cut the lead down to 2. So far, there's been 6 lead changes, only 1 tie, but it's been back and forth. And now we have a 1-score game on our hands. Blunt cuts inside, but the pass goes off of Dennis's neck, it looked like, and he's able to corral it. Walker to tie it up. There was definitely a foul there. I heard the slap on the wrist, but nothing's called. But it's okay. We're tied at 34. Driving inside. Branham lost the dribble. Has to pass out. George back to him. Really good defense by the Aztecs. We get another stop. It's now 3 or 4 stops in a row and a chance to put us back in the lead now. They almost tried to steal it. Well, they did try. They just failed. Jarris Walker left it short, gets it back, can't quite put it back in though. Good low post defense there by Keldon Johnson, and now Wembanyama able to draw the foul, and free throws can let the Spurs retake the lead this time. The first of which is not going to go. Wembanyama, 1 for 2. And now a bad screen. Oh, Dylan Young set just a moving screen just barely. And he gets tagged on that one. Coming off the corner screen, Wembanyama lets it rip, but has yet to regain his shooting stroke from behind the arc. Young, Euro stepping, can't quite finish. That was almost a really good move, but Wemby's defense just a little bit too good. That layup will go for Stephon Castle, and the Spurs lead by 3. Pulling up, Dennis knocks it down a couple feet inside the arc. Quick catch and shoot play for Dan George. These guys are knocking down their jump shots. Cobb looking to drive on Castle, but Duran's waiting for him down low. That's knocked out of bounds by Castle. You've got 10 on the shot clock. Kylan Moore back on the courts at the 4, it looks like. Inbound to Cobb. Castle picks him up. Cobb fades and missed it. Duran takes it coast to coast. And Cobb is the one called for the foul. He's not even near the guy. What is that? That's a complete bailout. Moore blocked the shot and he got called as he blocked it, but that was like a second late. Ball don't lie. First free throw comes off the rim. Duran, 1 for 2. Up against Wemby. Moore picked up his dribble. Cobb cuts inside, has it blocked! Out of bounds. Aztecs keep possession. But Wemby now got 3 blocks. It's hard to drive when he's on the court because he is one of the league's best help defenders, has the league's highest wingspan. So it's going to be tough. We got to find a good look. There it is. But Dylan Young can't knock down his 3rd straight from deep. Spurs get it back. They want to go quick, and they got the bucket plus the foul on Cobb. That's his 2nd. In as many plays. Another 3-point opportunity for the Spurs. And the free throws no good from Stephon Castle. Got a mismatch down low. Never mind, they just switched it back. Moore comes up, sets the pick. Young whips it inside. Blocked again, but Williams is right there for the second chance points. Cutting inside, it's Castle again. Most of his plays have come at the rim, and now he's got 13 points. They've shot better, they've had more free throws. That's why they're in front by 6 points, but it's still a very, very tight game, all things considered. Just about us putting the ball in the hoop time after time. Mark Williams has to pass out here. A lot of plays coming down to the final seconds on the clock, but this is going to drop in for Dennis. We've shot 41%. They have shot 50%. There you go. That's why they're in front right now. That single reason. George stepping back. Can't knock it down. Rebound goes to Kylan Moore. Cobb spins twice and is too strong. It hits the back iron. Cobb now does 3 for 10. The lob goes off the backboard, and Dan George is right there to corral it. Are you serious? Should be a turnover. Instead, it's going to be more free throws for San Antonio. And they're in the bonus for the rest of the first half. Just fouling too much. All these players seem to have some high draw foul tendencies. And George able to hit both. Walker and Christie teaming up for a little two-man game here. Walker gets it back, but really good defense by the Spurs until the final seconds, but we still can't take advantage. Now we got Wemby down low calling for it. Does not bring help over. Now he sets the pick, bring up Castle for a decent look, but it's no good. Aztecs just searching for some offense, a spark plug to get us back on track. There it is. That mid-range shot drops in for Kylan Moore. Isolation, stepping back. Wemby has a lot of tools in his tool bag. 16 points on 60% shooting so far. Cobb, can he find his rhythm? There it is. That's 5 straight points for the Aztecs. Now it's about defense. Close this first half strong, perhaps have a lead by quarter's end. Out to Wembanyama. Wide open triple. He makes no mistake. And now he cuts off the pass. Cobb just left it a little bit too short for him. He was trying to find Jarris Walker. And now a foul on Cobb, his third. They just get whatever they want, it looks like. They're not going to have more than like 55 points at half, most likely. But they're just drawing fouls every time if they can't knock a shot down. And it's put them in front now by 8 points with 45 seconds left to go. Cobb finds Christie in the corner, and I think he's still scoreless in this game. Actually, no, he had that one mid-range shot, but besides that, he has not really been too involved offensively. They got to knock down the wide-open looks. We've had 3 of them so far this quarter that have got to go next time, because those 3 shots would have us tied right now at 53. We're going to have the final play of the half. It's got to be a bucket. It's a good look for Sasser. He nails the step back. What a play. That's a good way to close the half. It's 53-48. But the Spurs in front here on our home court. Second half now begins. Aztecs start with the ball, trailing by only 5 points, and that's going to be a reach and foul on Dan George. But you know, so far, offense has not been as good as they were to close the season. That's for damn sure. But the defense, I thought, for the most part, was okay. Had a couple of hiccups, especially on Wembanyama. But we've had some good looks. We just got to knock those open shots down because we're not going to get that many compared to the regular season here in the playoffs with this playoff defense. So we got to hit the open shots. We're not going to have as many of them. That is a really tough shot, but it's going to drop for Wembanyama. I am beside myself. How does that shot go in, but our other shots that are wide open don't? Give me a break. I get he's good, but come on. That's a little ridiculous. Kylan Moore can't score on him. So you can't score on the guy. You can't stop the guy. What can you do against him? I guess that's what every team every year is asking once they face him. Moore trying to shoot off Duran down low. Ends up getting it. Now backs him down. Fades away. Almost got the and one. But it will be a foul at least. His first. 3 for 4 so far at the line today. And of course, as I say it, he misses his second attempt. And then he ends up splitting them. Stepping into a 3, and Keldon Johnson can't get it to go. Second chance for George. Won't go either. Lucky break for us on both accounts. Good look. Cobb can't connect. If we're going to win, Cobb has to play to a similar level as Wembanyama. Otherwise, we're going to have a lot of role players having to step up. We finally got a lob to Dennis. Pass made by Kylan Moore. He absolutely postered somebody, but I couldn't see the blur of black and silver there. But it's back to a 3-point game. Never mind. Stefan Castle's wide open. He's shot very well so far. Need somebody else to step up. We have had nobody really be a true standout here. It's been just a lot of guys hitting only 2 or 3 shots total. And now we turn the ball over. And George has it denied. But he's able to get to it. He's 1 for 8 from the field. I guess that makes him 1 for 9. Dennis rises up. This time can't stop him. And the lead for the Spurs is back to 8. Back to number 8. This time he nails it. Quick pull-up. Wembanyama, no good. He loves taking those ill-advised threes. Got a mismatch here. Moore needs to get physical here, but Castle wards him out of the paint. And now Cobb has to jack something up, and it's not going to drop. Up to Wemby. His pull-up won't go. Bit of a cold spell for him the last couple shots. And we almost lost it. Moore Euro steps, though, after getting his own loose ball back. Now he's up to 14 on the day, and our lead is, or their lead rather, is cut to 3. Physical drive. Jalen Duren has his shot rejected. Mark Williams with that denial. Can we turn defense to offense? Good pass to Christie, but it's a really tough shot between 2 defenders. And so far, their low post defense has been really good. It's been really hard to get clean looks from a couple feet away. And Wemby is still dropping in threes every couple of minutes here. Backing down Wemby. Really tough finish by Kylan Moore. I think he's been our best player so far on both ends. Honestly. Now they got Keldon Johnson setting up for a deep triple. He's not going to hit it. And Kylan Moore tracks down the rebound. Driving, drawing defenders. Corner 3 for Kylan Moore. Won't go. But Williams is there on the offensive glass. 3's not more strong suit, but it is for John Cobb. It's a 1-point game. Wembanyama tries again. This time it's not going to go. A bucket here can put us back in front for the first time in a while. We're setting up. Christie whipped inside to Williams, who's called for a 3-second violation. Under 6 to play in the third quarter. It's been a very good game so far, but the Spurs have held the lead for the vast majority of this game. Jalen Duren tracks down his own miss, and it stays alive with San Antonio. You got to start boxing people out on the defensive glass here. Don't allow second chance points. Duren just easily scores with a second left to spare. Wide open. Cobb buries it. And we are tied at 66, just chipping away at that Spurs lead. Now we have a chance with another stop at a bucket to, again, jump in front. But we're not going to have that chance this time unless we hit a 3. Because we can't stop Wembanyama. And off to Christie. He goes behind the back and draws a foul on Branham. Redick not happy with the call. Free throws to tie again. The front end. Good for Christie. He was like a 90% free throw shooter this season. He goes 2 for 2. Off the pick. Keldon Johnson whips it right behind Williams, who tried to again cut off the pass, but he just could not get his hand to it. And so far, Jalen Duren and Wemby have been outclassing our bigs pretty substantially. Dylan Young and Sasser back out there. And now they're going to call that a charge. What? Screen set by Wembanyama. George finds him on the pick and pop, and he connects from distance. Every time we get one play away, the Spurs just have an answer to stay in front. Lobbing it back door. Another alley-oop that cannot get to Dennis. It's now 1 out of 5 attempts, I believe, have actually worked. The other 4 have been either missed dunks or turnovers. That 3 is not going to go for Malachi Branham, but somebody's going to be a spark here. At some point, someone's got to get hot for this offense, or it's just going to be too late. They've got too many players stepping up, and we can't seem to score inside the paint right now. Vassell rises and misses. And we give it right back. Colin Moore turns it over. Deflected by Vassell. And now Branham rises up for the deuce. Look at that. 14 points off turnovers for the Spurs. 4 for us. That's the difference maker in this game right now. That and us not quite hitting our open shots. Moore hands it off. Young to Walker to Dennis. Has to jack up a 3. And we've had too many possessions come down to shots like that as well. The Spurs have played some really solid defense so far. And we are not, but luckily that shot's not going to go. Dumped inside. Moore got Duran up in the air. Draws the foul. Only his second, but the 4th on them. And Moore is on his way to a 20-point game. Who else will meet him there? Hope it's at least 2 other players by game's end, but it's not looking likely. Dumped over the top. The pick and rolls have been absolutely awful for us defensively. Getting physical again. This time Moore gets blocked down low, but it stays with the Aztecs. Gotta make something happen here. Cobb blocked by Misi. Their paint defense is absolutely on lock. And now they lob it up to Jalen Duran. We cannot stop anybody on the Spurs offense right now. And we can't get a bucket to fall twice in a row. Screen sets. Young somehow got the basket. I can't believe that. That's Duran's 3rd in the quarter. Knocked down the free throw. He got it. Spurs saving the shot clock, and we foul again. I mean, sure, it's the first against us in the quarter, but, I mean, the free throws are also killing us. They have just beat us in a couple different areas, and those are all adding up to a 8-point lead now for San Antonio. We're going to have the final shots of the 3rd quarter. Cobb's going to bring this one up. Guarded by Devin Vassell. Looks like he wants to isolate. Pulls up in his mouth and misses the shots. 81-73. Spurs have slowly but surely just pulled a little bit further away over the past couple of quarters, and now we have 1 left to get back in front and win this game. "12 minutes left to play. Spurs have it leading by 8, but his shot, Branham's shot, gets blocked on the opening play of the quarter by Jarris Walker. Dennis's 3 will not cut into their lead. How many of those kind of looks have we missed here in this one? It's been quite a few. Misi scores. They can just score at will, it seems. Young has it now. Waits for the pick from Kylan Moore. Drives and has it denied. They have to have like 10 blocks, man. This is crazy. But at least we got back to it and drew a foul. But Duran, Misi, Wemby, I think Branham also has several blocks. Absolutely locked down defense down low by the Spurs. First free throw drops in for Walker, and he goes 2 for 2. We do steal it this time. Finally, we actually make a heads-up defensive play, and we got the and one. Second foul on Branham. Cobb at the line to cut it back to 5. That's a big point swing right there. The free throw is perfect. Wemby is calling for it down low. Kylan Moore draped all over him. Passed inside to Branham for the finish. He's a way bigger person than Dennis is, so that's going to be an easy mismatch if he gets down low with the ball. Shot clock winding. Dennis rises, but can't hit the 3. And he has not been very good from downtown so far. Spurs searching for a shot here. Branham to Vassell, given plenty of room. It's not going to drop in, and Moore able to track down the rebounds. Do not want to allow a second chance points, especially down by a couple of scores here. Still a chance to win. Cobb sets the screen. Dennis tries again. This time, finally, connects on that trifecta. For 3, it's George! Every time it looked like a run's about to go our way, the Spurs just knock a tough shot down. That was a pretty tough shot. That was a pretty contested look. And now Mark Williams is fouled. Bucket's not going to go. But 2 free throws. Neither shot a guarantee here with him. But the first one does drop. I'd love to see him go 2 for 2. And he will. Driving all by his lonesome. The finish won't go for George. Screen set by Williams. Sasser behind the back pass. Did you see that? Mark Williams now has 10. It's back to 3. Right here is your best chance probably to make a run, jump in front, but instead, George steps up again. I can't believe this. Anytime it's within 1 score, somebody makes a play. It's been like 5 different players by now. Anybody on this team can just be the offensive spark for them. Little pick and roll. Williams again, back-to-back scores. Driving by Mark Williams. The pull-up's not going to go for Wemby. Off the screen. Sasser finds Williams unguarded down low. Right now, that 2-man game was working time and time again. Stick with that and maybe get like a couple stops in a row. Dan George. Another strong drive. Now he's fouled. I mean, this is just ridiculous. First one will go. At least go 1 for 2, right? Or don't. Here we go again. We're going to try this for a 4th time, and it's going to work for a 4th time. Double screen set. George downhill. Blocked off the backboard. And Sasser tracks it down. Can we tie the game or take the lead? All the 3 doesn't go. Oh, Dylan Young thought he had that one. It goes in and out. That was the chance to jump in front for the first time in like over a quarter and a half or something. Wemby doubled, leaving George wide open. And he missed it. The window is open. Another pick and roll. Call it till it doesn't work. Now double screens for Devin Vassell. He rises and connects on the mid-range shot. Another tough one. What can I even say now? 6 times the charm, perhaps. This time it's actually defended very well, and we still will get points out of it if Sasser hits at least one. That's the 4th on the Spurs already in the quarter, so one more and we are in the bonus, I believe, for the rest of regulation, which could be big down the stretch if we can keep drawing more fouls and taking some free throws. That can potentially help us get back in front. But under half the quarter left now. Starters back out there for both teams, it looks like, to close things out. We are tied again at a 95. A back and forth affair. Spurs are going to have led for most of it, but we have hung around the entire way. 3 won't go for Wemby, and now our best chance in a long time to retake the lead. It's out to Cobb. He's going to drive it and draw the foul. He passed up the open 3. Not feeling too confident about that kind of a shot, and now some free ones at the line. The first of which goes. We are, of course, now in the bonus for the rest of the quarter, and we have our first lead in quite some time. Cobb hits both. Little pick and roll here, and we almost stole it. That's off of Kim Christie, who tried to corral it, but couldn't get his hands firmly around the ball. Now the Spurs have to inbound. 11 seconds on the shot clock here. Just don't allow a good 3-point look. Anything else I'm not really too shaken up about, but an open 3 would be soul-crushing. It's going to be contested. That almost went, but it's no good from Stephon Castle. It's been relatively quiet here since the first half. To extend the lead, Cobb drills it! This might be our biggest lead of the entire game. Keldon Johnson has his 3-pointer blocked out of bounds. He can't believe it. Inbound to George in the corner. His 3 just rattles out. Another good look. Cobb. 1 for his last 2 now. Can't seem to hit multiple in a row. That lob is snatched away by Mark Williams, though. We get it right back. Good defensive stop. Really good defense the last several trips down by this Aztecs defense. Here's Kylan Moore coasting inside with the left hand. He has been really good offensively so far this game. Spurs trying to break the cold spell. This game's not over. The 3 is good from Stephon Castle. Top of the key screen. The 3, good from Christie. He finally knocks one down. And our lead extends back to 7 under 3 minutes left to go in game 1 of round 1. The Spurs have led for most of it, but recently their offense has kind of fallen off a map. The map. The jumper won't go for Castle. Moore up to Cobb. Baseline, handing off. Williams draws the shooting foul against Victor Wembanyama. And he's got more free throws. We have really brought ourselves back in this game pretty much by drawing fouls. Drawing fouls and playing some solid late defense has catapulted us to a 9-point lead all of a sudden. The Spurs have gone pretty cold the last several minutes. They're going to talk things over. It's not quite over yet, but it's not looking good for the Spurs as that pass sails over Wemby's fingertips and out of bounds. Going to be a turnover against Dan George. He's made some plays here in the 4th quarter, but not enough to overcome his shooting struggles throughout the entire game. Just a few more plays should put this game out of reach, and so far, Mark Williams has been the star of the fourth quarter. He had like 8 points coming into it and now has 22, 9 for 11 from the field, a plus 18 plus minus. He has been fantastic offensively on the simplest of plays. Another good defensive stop. More out of hand right up there in Wemby's face. And now this game is looking like it's going to go our way after the Spurs were up for pretty much the entirety of the first 3 quarters and beyond that as well. One run is all it took for us to gain control of this matchup. Time winding down. Cobb left it short. Duren pulls down the rebound. But time is running out. They got to go fast. Castle is blocked off the backboard by Kylan Moore. How about him defensively here in the fourth quarter? A free throw to close things out and let the rest of the time tick away. The game is over. Game 1 belongs to the Aztecs here on their home court. We lead the first round series 1-0 with a great fourth quarter. And that led us to this win. That was the offense I was waiting for. 41 fourth quarter points, holding into their lowest scoring quarter of the game. And despite kind of a rough shooting day for Cobb, he just put up 28 points, but again took 25 attempts. But how about the bigs? After playing some pretty bad defense, to be honest with you, the first couple of quarters, Mark Williams and Moore both stepped up late on both ends. Offense and defense. Both guys put up 16 rebounds and 20 plus points, have at least 1 steal and 2 blocks apiece. I mean, what more can you ask for after kind of being outclassed by both Wembanyama and Jalen Duren for the better part of the game? Wemby goes for 32 and 43 minutes, had 4 blocks and 2 steals. Misi had 3 blocks. Duren, 19 and 15. So they have plenty of players step up, but Keldon Johnson goes 0 for 6. Dan George goes 5 for 19. We had nobody play quite that bad, which was why we came out on top. And we just cut with the offense. We kept trying to plug away and find what worked. And eventually we found that the pick and roll was the way to do it, at least in that first game. Now we're going to Simcast Game 2 and jump in the fourth quarter or so if it is still a close one. Spurs lead by 4 after 1, a pretty low scoring game so far. And the Spurs lead by a couple of points. They're trying to pull away here in the third. But we are right in this game. Another really tight battle so far. And still 12 left to go. We retake the lead as the quarter begins. And the Spurs keep up with this fourth quarter offense. We're just trying to pull away now. We lead by about 10. And the Spurs just cannot keep up. Another great fourth quarter leads us to a pretty sizable victory. This time, Kylan Moore leads the way, 29 and 11. John Cobb shoots way better, going 8 for 16 with 24, 4 and 6. Had a couple of turnovers, as did Moore and David Dennis. But Cam Christie, 10 assists, alongside 9 from Dennis. Very good job from our 2 guards. And we come out on top, holding Wemby to around like 35% shooting from the field. Keldon Johnson did bounce back in a big way, but Dan George still shoots poorly. Nobody else really steps up all too much. And we beat them by 21 points thanks to a 43-23 fourth quarter. Jarris Walker now fully healed from that sore knee or sore foot or whatever it was. So he's back to full health. Now we got game 3. And it'll be our last game for this episode. But if we go up 3-0, then we are on our way to a potential first round sweep. But don't want to get too carried away. We've had 6 of 8 close quarters. And the Spurs have led after each first quarter in all 3 games. Now we are the ones having to battle back again from a deficit. It's still close in the third quarter as it was for the last 2 games, but the Spurs are trying to pull away here. We're keeping pace for the most part, and now we take the lead. Now it's going back and forth. Fourth quarter action, 102-102. Let's watch the rest of it. If we win, we lead 3-0. This could be a big one right here. We pretty much have the whole fourth quarter left to go here, but it's going to be our first road game of this playoff run. Tied up. Wemby will put them back in the lead. I mean, how do you stop it? That is a very tough, on-the-move, contested shot. He has shot 73% this game. Again, it's going to be hard to contain him every single game, but just got to do what you can to slow him down and slow down his teammates. Cobb whips it to Moore. Wemby's right there. Moore has to shoot. Did not get it off in time. Inside, Duran, a couple of pump fakes. Back-to-back buckets for San Antonio. Moore tries a triple, but can't connect. At some point, I would like him to be able to stretch the floor, but right now he just can't. Now we got Let's Go Spurs chance here in the Frostbank Center. That shot's not going to go, though. Kylan Moore pulls down the miss. Vassell just 2 for 9 here in this game. He's been pretty spotty so far in this series. Cobb isos and just completely blows by Malachi Branham. That's too easy. We've hit more shots than them. We've taken 14 more shot attempts, and yet the Spurs lead. So what's going on there? Must be a combo of threes and free throws and maybe perhaps turnovers. But a 3 drops in right there from Branham, and the lead extends to 5. Cobb wants to ISO again against Malachi Branham. Couple of dribble moves, can't shake him loose, and he just lets Dennis fire off a contested 3, which he, of course, hits. Out of the corner comes Vassell. Moore's right there, and it gets called for his second foul. First free throw, up and good for Vassell. Back end to push it back to 2 scores, yes. Inside to Young, he lost it. Mark Williams able to track it down. Young's going to try the layup. It's contested, though, by Vassell. Very strong rim protection by the Spurs. Now Castle alley-oops it up. It goes out of bounds. No, it doesn't, but Williams tracks it down. That was going to be off Wemby either way. Young, another tough one this time. He just got it to go. And now a bad pass attempt by Keldon Johnson. That was just a lazy idea. Pierce Walker just pokes it away and steals it right from him. Now a chance to tie things up again, but Walker in the paint too long. Downhill, and Branham with just an easy lay-in right there. Spurs lead by 4, about half the fourth quarter left to go with some change. We've seen this before. Can we come back and retake the lead late like we did back in game 1? Let's find out. We've got 35 assists this game already. That is a tough mark to meet. Spinning, fading, shot, goes in off the rim for Wemby. 9 for 12. A plus-minus of 17. Cobb crosses over, drives, hoop in the harm. Count that Basket! And a free throw can cut it back to 1. He's our best free throw shooter. He knocks it down. Crowd trying to get loud and spark a run, but they're not going to get it. It's swatted away by Kylan Moore. Dennis attacks the basket. Shot won't go, but Christie's there for the offensive board. Dennis, the 3. Oh, that could have put us up by 2. Out to Branham. Mid-range jump shot. In and out. Cobb against Wemby. Fires over him. Shot comes off the rim. Now they lob it up behind the defense. And guess who's there? It's Jalen Duren. 3-point game. Cobb drives and got another one. And 1. The free throw can tie things up at $117. He got it. Some tough couple of buckets here in the fourth quarter by Cobb. You know, we have seen him have some big fourth quarter plays throughout his career every single season. The playoffs are where it matters most. Duren got his own miss back, and now Johnson's wide open, but can't knock it down. This for the lead. Christie got it! Off the rim, off the backboard, then back through. The Aztecs once again make a little run to take the lead, but the Spurs are not going to go away this early, unlike last game. Screen set. Kylan Moore rolls inside and throws down the hammer. Spurs now playing from behind here. George and 1. Like I said, they're just not going to go away. They saw what happened back in game 1. They saw them blow a 1-point fourth quarter lead back in game 2, excuse me. And they lost both games. Mark Williams! Oh! One-handed jackhammer. That was a really awkward pass by Dennis, but Williams just completely powers it home. Lead back to 3. George with it. Rises, but can't cash in. Mark Williams lofts it right to a defender. Malachi Branham steals it, and Duren lays it in on the fast break. You can't have plays like that at this stage of the game. That is a costly turnover. It's a big point swing. Backdoor. Williams back out. Cobb's open, and he absolutely drills it. He's got 32 here in game 3, 14 here in the fourth quarter. Wemby isos against Moore, but has to pass back out. Johnson to George, lobbing it up, and Castle's there to lay it in. Cobb blows by. Johnson draws the third on Wembanyama. More free throws for John Cobb. 12 for 19 from the field here in this game. His best of this playoff appearance so far in the first 3 games. Again, perfect at the line. They're going to find Wemby rolling back door. Where's the foul, ref? What? You're crazy. Moore can't believe it. Neither can I. He didn't touch him. He did not touch him. Nothing I can really do, though. Free throw goes for Wemby. Our lead's cut to 1. It's not over yet. Door open for both teams to walk out of here with a win. No telling who's going to come out on top. But we have the 1-point edge. Cobb drives again and finishes despite the help from Castle. Fourth quarter takeover time for John Cobb. He does it again. Will it be enough to put us on top and give us a 3-game lead here in this first round series? Castle has it. Waiting for a screen. Rolls inside to Duren. George has to attack. It's blocked and rebounded by Mark Williams. This could end it. It's not going to go, though, for Cobb. That was a ballsy shot. And contested, too. It's still a 3-point game. It's not over. Duren rises. Left it short. Gets it back. Williams is right there. And gets back-to-back stops. And now Dennis is fouled. And it's going to put him at the line for a pair. What a couple of huge defensive plays by Mark Williams down the stretch. What an episode for him, man. 22 and 16 back in game 1. And now a couple of huge fourth quarter defensive plays here in this game. Absolutely huge. It is a 5-point game. Spurs have it. 18 seconds left, and that is a bad idea. They try to lob it up, but it goes off the backboard. And now Jalen Duren's fouled out. These free throws can really put this game out of reach. The Spurs, once again, just have kind of just fallen apart in the third straight game here in the fourth quarter. They led by, 4 or 5 at a couple different points here in the fourth, and just not able to hold on to it. The same was true back in game 2 and in game 3, or game 1 rather. It's going to happen again. And time once again runs out for San Antonio. We take a 3-0 series lead with another electrifying fourth quarter. 137-131 your final score. The Spurs are on the brink of elimination here with another home game coming up in game 4. Despite 31-6-6 from Wembanyama and good days from a couple other players, it was a high-scoring game, but their offenses could not keep up. 36-8-9 from Cobb on the win. A lot of fourth quarter points for him. He really stepped up. Dennis and Cam Christie also played very well. 20-plus in terms of points for both of those two players. Mark Williams, 3 steals, 13 rebounds. More kind of quiet here in this game, only 12 points and only 2 blocks in total, no steals, and quiet on the glass, but we got the win, that's all that matters. Despite them shooting 57%, we shoot 54% from both the field and from 3, and we win game 3 by 6 points. Now, because we're up 3-0, I do want to sim at least one more game and see if we can just walk out of this with a sweep, but if they win game 4, we'll probably watch games 5 and beyond next episode. So let's dive in to game 4 and see if they can make things interesting here. But given the, first 3 games, it seems unlikely. And now we're off to a really good start. We lead by 20 in the third quarter. Spurs trying to fight back, but they're going to be out of time here. And we're going to be moving on to the second round. The Spurs have been eliminated. The Aztecs bludgeoned them 122-96 in the winning effort. And we are the first team to punch our ticket to the conference semifinals. After how game 1 was trending, I am surprised that we just won the first 4 of this series against a great player like Wemby, but I guess the role players that we have really stepped up. 28 for Wemby here in this game, 11 assists for Dan George, but a lot of turnovers, 18 in total for San Antonio to our 12, and we had 30 points for Cam Christie. He's been really good in 3 out of these 4 games. putting up 21 points per game so far in the playoffs and shooting amazingly. He's been really, really good, and he's been a much-needed piece in our starting five this year. Cobb puts up 21, 15 for Young. 4 other players score double figures. Dennis, the only guy not to after a poor shooting day, but still passed the ball very well. And that is a really surprising but satisfying round 1. Elsewhere, the Rockets beat the 8-seed Pelicans 4-0. The 5-seed Clippers eliminate the Trailblazers, who were, of course, the Western Conference champions last year in 5 games. And the Utah Jazz barely escape a 7-game series against Dallas. And we're going to be facing them in round 2. So, honestly, a really good matchup because we're 2 really good young teams. We saw a game against Utah earlier, and they really kind of beat the brakes off us. So can we slow down the best offense in basketball? Dion York, Timothy Stewart, Bryce Sensabaugh really went off against us too. But Andrew Lee, Keontae George, they have a lot of options offensively, and they beat us handily last time we saw them. So I'm hoping it's a good series, but I think they have the edge over us. But the 2 and 3 seeds match up for the conference semifinals. Houston faces the Clippers. Over in the East, Detroit, the 1 seed, barely gets out of a 7-game series against the 8 seed Magic. Cleveland takes down Toronto in 6. And the Blue Crabs only win 1 playoff game in their first ever appearance in their first season. And the Hawks sweep the Brooklyn Nets in round 1 4-0. So they face Chicago, and Detroit faces Cleveland. All 4 top seeds move on over in the East. Only 1 bottom 4 playoff seed in the entire bracket moves on, and it's the Clippers with a pretty, sizable win over the Blazers. So we have a really tough matchup against the Jazz. I think them and the Rockets are the 2 toughest teams to beat out of any teams in this bracket. So it's going to be a Western Conference battle for us. It might be really tough. We're going to have to go through probably Utah, and then if we move on, probably Houston, who we saw that game against, and we lost a couple against them. So no telling what's going to happen here, but really promising signs after 1 round. I like how we played, and if we can get this play out of Cam Christie throughout the entire playoffs, then I feel pretty good about where this can go, because he shot amazingly from the field and from 3. Howard Moore had a couple of big plays. Mark Williams really stepped up and has the numbers to show for it. So we've got a lot of players making plays. David Dennis, probably the weakest link so far of this 8-man rotation, but he's got to be out there. He's a great passer, and he will stay in. So these are your numbers so far in the playoffs, and I've liked what I've seen so far, even though it's been a couple of close games. I like what I've seen, and I can't really complain too much about, one thing. We swept the first round. Now we got to face Utah, and it's going to be a tough series, but I think that we can do it if we play our cards right, and if David Dennis can start to, shoot the ball pretty well, that will really help us out offensively. And that'll do it for this episode, guys. A full round done in 1 episode. Not often is that the case here, but we do get it done. And now we have round 2 next time. We'll see y'all there. Please like the video, subscribe down below, and also leave your comments in the comment section, and I'll see y'all next time. Take care, and have a great day.